Global Business Network, for those of you who are new to joining us tonight, we are a international business development and consulting group. And what we do is we help Black-owned businesses to access government resources to sell their products and services globally. So we have a lot of projects, literally, that are happening around the world right now. And our mission is to grow Black-owned businesses into international businesses. So we have a 100-year plan in which we are focused on getting 100 businesses a year that will generate and earn $1 million at least in international sales over the next 100 years, and that will give us 10,000 businesses. So what we're building now is a Black international economic engine that people who are much younger than us will come in and take over this engine and take us to the next level. So we promote international economics, we promote working with the government, we promote international trade worldwide, but especially in Africa and the Caribbean, which we'll be talking about tonight. We have a strong network of Black international professionals. And the reason that the government will help you do this is because you create jobs, jobs, and more jobs. So this is our 100-year plan, which is our vision that we shared with you. And our aim is to help our companies to export capital, goods, services, yes, services, intangible assets, and create jobs. And there's a reason why the jobs is a theme, because we change our mindset from working for somebody to create our wealth to creating jobs to create our wealth. And these are the different memberships that we have. We're a membership-based organization. We have a VIP membership in which we give a lot of export awareness and training, and you're able to get access to a lot of information about opportunities around the world. We have a how to export training program where you learn on your own at your own pace. We have a export incubator in which you work with 10 other companies in order to grow your business. And then we have an export accelerator in which you are the talent and we are your international business development team. There are 5 pillars to Black and Global. The first pillar is you must keep your current job or a business because this is not a short-term process, but it is a lucrative one. It's 12 to 36 months, depending on where you are in the maturity of your business. We ask all of our clients to dedicate at least 2 hours a week to building your international business. 5 would be the maximum because we don't want to chase anybody down. We ask you to set that time aside to work with us. We ask you to create at least 5 jobs, and we show you how to do that. And we like to work with businesses that are committed to a legacy. That's why we have that matches with our 100-year plan. So this is where we are today and what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to cover this briefly, and then we're going to open up the floor for any specific questions. This is an informational meeting, and so the purpose and the design of this meeting is different from the webinars where we bring on speakers. The purpose of an informational meeting is for you to be able to ask me questions. So I definitely welcome that. So our focus for 2022, we started in April. We went to the U.S. Caribbean Business Meeting in Miami, in which we met with diplomats in about 12 different countries to determine what are the products and services that are needed in the Caribbean. And we were able to gather a lot of information in preparation for our conference, which is going to be in July, which will highlight, and in preparation for the Caribbean Trade Mission, which is what we're talking about tonight. In May, we were very fortunate. We got selected to go to Italy, Portugal, and Spain on the Minority Trade Mission, which was fantastic. And hopefully you saw those pictures on social media. That was an unbelievable trip. And we've gotten quite a few business opportunities that have come out of that, much more than we have anticipated. And next we went to Select USA, which was at National Harbor, Maryland. That happened this week. And I wanted to share with you all, did I mess that up? Okay. For this meeting at National Harbor, Maryland, I wanted to give you all an idea of what is happening so that we can raise the awareness about the opportunities that are available. This summit was held, it's in the DC area. And I want you to look at how much money, there 3,000 attendees, almost $60 billion. And I want to tell you that the amount of money that we discussed over the last 3.5 days was well over $100 billion. And there were 3,600 attendees, 2,000 from other countries, 1,600 from America. And the purpose of this conference is to get people from foreign countries, now listen to me, to come to America to set up businesses. The purpose of this conference was to get businesses from foreign countries to come to America to set up businesses. Now, Select USA is nothing new. It's been around for a long period of time, but I wanted to raise the awareness in our community because we're sitting right here. We have the skills and talents to deliver on these contracts, but we don't have the awareness that these opportunities are there. So our constant message from Black and Global this weekend, or for 3.5 days, was that we are here to deliver on these services. So I'm going to tell you, every single company that presented during this conference, every single one, we sent an email to profile our companies and our business. And we have an electronic brochure to say that Black and Global has businesses that can deliver on these contracts. And I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean. One of the departments, all of the different government departments came to speak, the Department of Energy, the Department of Commerce, and the secretaries from President Biden's cabinets for all of these different groups, the Department of Labor, governors from all of the different governors' office. When I tell y'all I learned the strategy this weekend, I spent this whole time saying, this is what you all do. Oh, you better believe we gonna get a chunk of this money. So each and for every single one, we learned the sweet spot of how to track the money, because that's what our goal was to figure out how is the money, when they talk about this money is being dispersed from the president, but there's a huge gap. How does it get into our pockets? Now, maybe you all knew that. I personally did not. But our mission for going to this summit was because now you're bringing companies from other countries to come over, which you've done for a long time. But we want that opportunity as well. And I tell people quite often that when you see businesses from other countries, you see Chinese and Korean and Japanese and different countries in Africa, Jamaica, wherever you see businesses from around the world, and they're coming to the US, they're coming to the US because their governments support them coming. And their governments create the opportunities for them to come because their governments work with the American government in order to have what they call foreign direct investment, FDI, which means they are bringing businesses and talent from other countries to come to the US to encourage them to create jobs. And the US will do the exact same thing for you. They will do the exact same model for you, going in the opposite direction. So for example, on the trip that we just went to Portugal, We are working with companies where we're going to help them go to Portugal in order to sell their products and services. So this is an opportunity for us to connect with businesses that are coming from other countries that are looking to do business with American companies. Because all of these companies that are coming over, they need services, they need products. So for example, they need accounting, they need legal work, they need to find a place to put their warehouses, they need transportation, they need HR services. Any type of service that a business would need to set up, these companies in other countries need those services here in America. So we went to this conference to learn about these opportunities. And just as an example, the Department of Energy, one of the four main common themes for this conference were on broadband expansion in the US, transportation expansion in the US, apprenticeship, and I'll tell you more about that in the US, and information technology in the US. And let me tell you, it was amazing to see the different types of businesses that these companies had and the different types of things that these companies were doing. So let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you the one that blew my mind the most. No, there were two. There were two that, because what happens is these companies, the 2,000 companies that came over, they highlight and profile what their different businesses do, right? So I'm gonna tell you one that semi blew my mind. One of the companies created a drone robot to pick crops. So this drone was able to go out into a field and pick all the crops for the entire field. And it was amazing to see this little robot do all of that just by the engineering of the person sitting at the controls. So that was one. The other one that blew our mind. Now, so we're sitting in the meeting, and this guy's from a company called iSpace. And you know, I'm a tax lawyer. I'm an international tax lawyer. So this kind of stuff really floats my boat. So he's talking about, they were asking them about next generation and next gen and where things are going next. So he said he saw creating transportation. They're creating transport vehicles to go to the moon. That's what he said. So he's talking about, you know, how the transport vehicles they're going to be going to the moon and getting the resources and bringing them back to Earth, and what it looks like in order to do the transportation and get the system set to get everything off the moon. Now, when this dude was talking, I was like, okay, this dude really is on the moon, because you know, it just seems so far-fetched, until he said the US, Luxembourg, and Japan have already passed laws about ownership of the moon. And he said that he always asked the question, well, who owns the moon? And issues came up because they sell to NASA about what they were able to get going back and forth on the moon. Now, I knew, you know, we hear about Elon Musk and all these other people who are trying to go to the moon, but I didn't know that there were ships that were going back and forth in order to private companies that were sending ships back and forth to the moon to collect items. So he said that because their company, in order for their company to sell the resources that they gather from the moon, they had to have laws in place to be clear that they had ownership of what they got from the moon. And when the laws were passed, then they would legally own the resources that they gathered from the moon, and they sold it to NASA. And after they sold it to NASA, guess what happened? the IRS taxed them on the sale. It's like, now that's gangster. The IRS taxed them on the sale of what they gather from the moon to NASA. Tax even extends to the moon. That's why I really love doing tax. So I share that with you to say, when I tell you that being in this environment and looking at the level of thinking that these people are doing and where these people are in terms of innovation and looking for innovation and attracting innovation to America, it was just quite mind-blowing for me. So it really, really helped me to say that we are really on the right path when we're in these environments to bring this information back to you. The Department of Energy, as a second example, they received $62 billion from $62 billion as a part of the Build Back America. And of the $62 billion, 40% of that has to go to minority companies. $62 billion and 40% of that has to go to minority companies. And so what we are working to do is to ensure that our companies are in a position to gain access to these funds. And so how are we going to do that? Well, one of the things that we're focused on is getting our companies prepared for a trade mission, because trade missions are the way that you are able to offer skills and services around the world. So when I say things such as the Department of Energy has this many funds to spend, this is tied to another type of bank that we'll call the XM Bank, where we can put projects together in order to sell your products and services globally. So if you have, so let's say if it's, if you have a drone and you want to sell your products and services for your drone, if you want to create a manufacturing facility here in order to manufacture your drone, you can get money from the Department of Energy in order to manufacture your drone, as long as you sell 15% of those drones to companies outside of the US, then you're able to access this money. They have another bank that will help you to get access to financing so that you will be able to what we call structure a deal. So let's say you have services that you want to sell. Services, for example, would be something like bookkeeping, accounting, legal services that you want to sell globally. Well, this is a huge area that we really got a lot of information on, because all of these businesses that are coming to the US are going to have professional services. And whatever service that you can provide, if you are providing that service in the US, let me tell you, I just met a grant writer. It never even struck me that a grant writer could sell their products and services globally. But what we learned at this event is that companies that come to America to set up, there are grants that are available to assist them. And when they come to the US, let's say they're coming from Korea and they want to access these grants, well, who's going to write the grant? It never struck me until I met a team of people at the exhibition show, at the exhibition hall. And they have billions of dollars in grants, and these foreign companies are able to come and apply for these grants. If you are a grant writer and you write a grant for one of these companies because you are an American service provider selling your service to a foreign business, that is considered exporting. And you can get funds to help you with your grant writing business to help businesses that are coming to the US. Let's say you are a realtor and you are and you lease homes. All of these companies that are coming, foreign companies that need to come to the US to do business, they have to have a place to stay or a place to live. And there are realtors. So you, as an American realtor who would assist a foreign buyer who is living in, I don't know, Spain, or maybe living in Cote d'Ivoire, if you are assisting that person, your real estate business, you are exporting your services to a company outside of America, and you can get assistance to sell your service. How do I know? Because we met realtors at this event. We met site location people, meaning this: if you live in a city and the companies need warehouses, you help them locate a warehouse, a place to put their business. If you're an HR company and these companies are coming to America, they have to find people to work for them. There are so many different areas that you can sell your products and services, because our goal is for us to start thinking, just like we sell in America, you can sell your products and services in other countries. You have to find your sweet spot. It's not a short-term process, but you will make 10 times what you charge overseas for what you charge in the US. But you really have to develop the market for those levels of services. So those were the major things I wanted to talk about. Oh, let me talk about one more thing that we learned about. Have any of you ever heard, you can tell me in the chat, of apprenticeship.gov? Never in my life have I ever heard of anything called apprenticeship.gov. Every single speaker, every single panel discussed apprenticeship, because the common theme problem that for every single one of these departments, every single one of these major companies was workforce development. And all of them are saying they cannot find workforce. Now, it's lost on me, because half of the time you hear people talking about the Great Recession, and then the other time you hear people talking about laying people off. Well, the common theme here was workforce development, that there are not enough people in order for these companies, when they come to America, they're looking for people. And when I'm telling you the companies that were there that were talking, Siemens, Microsoft, IBM, Aon, just all these different levels of large companies, Mitsubishi, Toyota, saying that they don't have the level of resources of people to assist. So what is the American government pushing? They are pushing apprenticeships, where, now listen to their conversation. Now, this is what blows me about these people. This is their all conversation. Well, everybody doesn't have to go to college. Everybody doesn't have to get a college degree. College is not for everybody. We may be used to hiring from colleges because it's easier and we have a captive market, but many companies have started to recruit from high school and from vocational schools so that they can have a different group of people. And how are they doing that? They're doing it through this program called apprenticeship.gov. And we went to the workshop for apprenticeship.gov. This program is run by the Department of Labor. And I'm asking all of you to go on and register to create a registered apprenticeship. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it and exactly how much money you can get. Did you hear what I just said? How much money you can get in order to get people to work for you. Remember, I told you that the name of the game is creating jobs. That's the common theme. If you shift your thinking from working for somebody to create your fortune to helping somebody work for you to create your fortune, you are really going to shift your impact. This program is what they call a registered apprenticeship. And the people who did the big corporation that did this presentation, they are an insurance company. They are an insurance company. I've heard of apprenticeships like with carpentry and plumbing and welding and things like that. No, they are an insurance company, and they're doing apprenticeships on everything from risk management, building actuarial tables, all of the IT, every developer, websites, so everyone you can imagine, they are creating apprenticeships. And so the apprenticeship is you work for a period of time and you go into education for a period of time, but you create a time frame for training your employees. And over that 6 months or 9 months or 18 months or whatever period of time, you are creating the opportunity for them to grow. So they get educated and they get a certification from your training program. And when you go to this website, you're going to be amazed at the type of jobs that you can create for people in your community. Now, here's the kicker. The person who led this conversation is from the Department of Labor. And they talked about this apprenticeship program. She said, we just gave out $50 million to 16 what they call intermediaries in order to help businesses create apprenticeships. I asked the question, so do we have to pay a fee for them to help us set it up? They said, no, you don't have to pay a fee. They will do everything from helping you figure out what kind of apprenticeship you want to set up, what type of certification you want to give. And after this presentation was over, now note, they didn't say this during the presentation. I'm just telling y'all straight up. They didn't say this part that I'm about to tell you during the presentation, because I talked about Black and Global, that we would love to do a certification for international specialists. And we had many businesses that would like to do apprenticeships, right? So they thought that it would be great for our businesses and our network to do apprenticeships, because you all already know they don't have any Black people doing these apprenticeships. So after this presentation was over, one of the leaders in their department came over to talk to me, a sister. And she said, Melissa, I had to get to you because I want to help your organization. She said, listen, this $50 million that we just gave out, each one of the intermediaries that we gave that money to, they have to give $500,000 to businesses like yours in order to set up your apprenticeship. I said, what do you mean by that? First of all, I was like, can I become an intermediary? Can we become an intermediary? So she said, yeah, we're going to help you become an intermediary so you can get the money to give directly to your companies. But first, they just finished the round of funding. So we have to tick some boxes in order to get Black and Global to the point where we can get the apprenticeship, but she can help us to get there. But in the interim, what she said was to have all of your members go to apprenticeship.gov, go over the website, review the website, find the contact in your area. Every single state has an office of apprenticeship. I had no idea. I live in Maryland, and when we were there at the exhibition hall, how about I met the guy who was over the Maryland apprenticeship office, and he gave me all of this information, and I asked him, how are we supposed to know that these opportunities exist? Because they don't advertise them so that we can know. Well, maybe some of us know. Let me just say, I didn't know that they existed. And I asked him, so you all will give us money to help us with the apprenticeship? Because we are in, as Black businesses, we are in a special, I forget the term that he used, whatever the term is, because listen, when the Secretary of Labor, the Secretary of the Department of Labor spoke, and he mentioned diversity and inclusion, and all of them talked about that for whatever lip service that is, diversity and inclusion, and he talked about minority businesses. His words were, we have to improve employment in the Black community and other minorities, because the labor numbers in our community are the worst. And so the Department of Labor has a special mandate in order to increase jobs in our community. And so because Black and Global is tied to creating jobs, this apprenticeship.gov lines up with what we do. But they don't have any Black businesses like ours that are involved in these programs. So what we're going to do as a group, we're going to work in unity. And when I tell you, I'm asking all of you all to go on this website. Yes, it's going to take some time. It's the government. It's going to be a hassle. Let me tell you up front. Understand that the price of working with the government is a pain on all sides. But you can create a job. So like Angela, as a perfect example, did you know you can create, well, this is probably easy for you, an apprenticeship for your hair business? And you can bring people, and I'm not just talking about an apprenticeship. They will, if you go on this website, look through the website, find you're an employer, which is here, and you can go through and you can explore and learn, and you want to look at diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility, because they are. And so what we will end up doing is, our goal for Black and Global is to register as a national apprenticeship, because we are a nationwide entity. And as a nationwide entity, what they will move us to is having companies to be able to operate under us. And what does that look like? That looks like each one of those intermediaries, that's 16, that's $50 million. They have to give away $500,000. And the only person who was sitting up on that stage out of the 16 intermediaries, it's only one that's Black. Only one. So you better hurry up and believe that those other 15 are not going to be channeling the money our way. But because we are a national organization, we are going to identify all those other 15, and we're going to target you all in the direction to be able to go and apply for that money. So what does that look like? If you are a bookkeeper, if you are a CPA, you create an apprenticeship for someone to work for you for 6 to 12 months, whatever period of time. If you look on the careers, some of them are already created. And what the apprenticeship means is that they start out with you, they work some days, they're in school, you give them a training program some days. They work some days, you give them a training program some days. And over that period of time, you start at one level of income, You start at a lower level of income, and then you progressively increase the income over time. As they increase your revenue, you increase their salary. So it enables you to bring someone in at a lower salary or a lower price point than you normally would have brought someone in at, in order to graduate them over time. And because we are in the Black business community, we are able to get assistance to help with paying for those positions. Because the other piece that we learn, and that's what Black and Global is happening for us right now, is that the states and the county have money to give you to pay your employees for a certain period of time. That's what I just said. So I'm gonna use us as an example. The county where we live, where I am in Maryland, has funds that are available to help businesses create jobs. So they're going to give us, they're giving us money. We got approved to get money to create jobs. And this money will cover our payroll for 3 months. And we have to create jobs that will regenerate so that they can produce their own income. So I talked to the guy at the apprenticeship office today because I wanted to see, can we marry this money with the apprenticeship? He said, yes, we can definitely do that. And we can help you structure that and do that. So I'm saying all of that to say that to create jobs, that's the focus of what I'm trying to get across to everybody. We have to start thinking in that way, because the funds that are available, whether it's getting you a contract in another country, whether it's getting you assistance here, what is going to push you to the forefront is if you are creating jobs. And everybody should go on apprenticeship.gov and look for your state and find the resources in your state. And if you don't do anything else, just have a conversation. Just ask the questions. And if you need us in any way and we can assist you, I highly recommend it, because workforce development, finding the right people and enough people, that was the biggest conversation that we had. So, Sister Kama and I, as an example, I'm gonna share with you, we met a company. Where's the South Carolina company from, Sister Kama? Where were they from?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Is it India?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I
Yep.
think they're from India.
Yep.
They have a manufacturing plant in South Carolina. Cannot keep people. They cannot keep employees. So they have a $20 billion expansion that they're doing on the ground in South Carolina right now. And they cannot keep people. You know, when Sister Kama and I saw this apprenticeship, we were like, hold up. Oh, we about to put 2 and 4 together. We went to the South Carolina apprenticeship table so we could get the information, because we're going to look to see about marrying this deal together, because you're saying you can't keep people. How many Black people are there in South Carolina looking for a job? You have to be kidding me. And so, you know, it was just an example. It was a real confirmation to see we got this information about there's a need and the apprenticeship. And he sat with us. We ate with him. I think it was Monday that we ate dinner with him, this company owner. And he was telling us all of his issues and the problems that he's having with staff, keeping people. And he increased the salary, and he moved He's looking at providing lunch and all the things that he's trying to do, but he didn't know about the apprenticeship program. And so that's something that we're going to talk to him about, and talk to an HR team that we have about helping him to find people. But and he said that this is limiting their expansion, because he said 20 billion with a B, with a B. So all of this to say that please, please, please know that workforce development is a major ticket that you're going to see in the next 12 to 18 months. Know that this apprenticeship.gov is where these people are funneling money for apprenticeship. It's not in colleges, it's not in vocational schools, it's not in any of that. This is the key, this is the buzzword that you want to use. And in the government, buzzwords are key. This is the word that you want on your lips. To whomever you're talking to, you want to create jobs and you want to create an apprenticeship. How can you help me to do that? That's what you're looking for. Okay, so now that's the soapbox there. So now let's talk about the last part, and then I'll open up for questions. Okay, so Black and Global. So we're having our summit, which is going to be July 28 and 29. And our focus is on the Caribbean Trade Mission. And we are focused on taking 60, that is 60 companies on this trade mission. And we want everybody to get the word out, to go. And I'm going to tell you why this is a great opportunity and why it's very different from other trade missions. And if you are unsure about exporting, if you don't quite know what you want to sell, if you're interested, but you're not sure, this is the perfect opportunity for you. And in fact, the Commerce Department, our commerce contact said to me that, Melissa, this is a great opportunity just to showcase to your companies that, so that they can become familiar with the process of exporting and start to get their minds there. We're going to have a good time. Come and meet Black and Global in Miami. That's what we want you to do. So, and we're giving everybody enough time to get prepared, and we'll be giving you information as we go forward. So here, the Caribbean Trade Mission and Business Conference is going to be October 23rd through the 28th. And these are the countries that they're going to focus on: the Bahamas, Barbados, Eastern Caribbean, the Dominican Republic, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Suriname, Trinidad, and Tobago. And where is it going to be hosted? My favorite city, Miami, the 305. And they're going to be focused on the Caribbean region, which is about 27 million people, 21 billion in export sales. Now, the target market, this is why this is a tremendous opportunity. These are all of the markets that these countries are looking to buy in: agribusiness, agro-processing, alternative energy, airports and aviation, auto parts, services, e-mobility, airports, ports, business process outsourcing, construction, road building, machinery, infrastructure, smart cities, consumer products, clothes, accessories, health and beauty products, franchising, housing, hotel and restaurant equipment, information and communication technology, manufacturing equipment, maritime services, yacht industry, marine port, medical equipment and devices, pharmaceuticals, oil and gas, safety and security, travel and tourism, waste management, water treatment and supplies, and everybody has to fit in there somewhere. So these are the sectors that they are looking for. And if you have a business and you're not quite sure, I'm going to show you why this is still a great opportunity for you. Sister Robin, can you share this link in the chat? So what we're going to be doing is, depending on the market, you will get what they call customized business matchmaking for up to 2 countries. So you can pick any 2 countries, and the Commerce Department will find business partners for your product or service in those countries. And you will be going to that country. Let's say if you choose Jamaica or the Dominican Republic, you will be going to that country, those 2 countries, and you will be meeting face to face with potential buyers in order to sell your product and service. And the Department of Commerce will set up the meeting for you. Now, they won't negotiate the deal for you. You will have to negotiate on your own, but they will put you in front of 5 to 10 potential clients, partners, customers, distributors to buy your products and services. Now, this is the way that we are going to do this. So we're getting the word out now, coming up to our summit, which is July 28, 29. After July 28, 29, our goal is to roll 60 companies into our global incubator. And in the incubator, we're going to have August and September and October to get you ready to go on this trip. And as a part of this process, we're going to train you how to set up your trade mission, how to prepare to identify your companies, how to meet with the trade promotion officer in your city that will help you get prepared, how to apply for the grant to help you cover your travel costs. I'm going to say that again, how to apply for the STEP grant to cover your travel costs. And how do I know that they have money? Because the trip that we just took to Europe, the state of Maryland gave us, I think, almost $10,000 for that trip. They to cover our costs. So we know how to apply for the money in order to cover the cost, because the states, most states, like Angela's state, Tennessee, they don't have funds available. But the 46, let me say, of the 50 states have money from the federal government to help businesses cover their costs to go on a trade mission, and to help companies cover their costs to pay the fees. So let me show you what the fee looks like. So if you are accepted for the trade mission, and you do have to apply, and we're encouraging businesses to start registering their interests now, and we're going to show you how to do that. You don't have to pay a dime up front. You don't have to pay anything up front. It costs you absolutely nothing to register your interest, nothing. And we are really encouraging you to do that, because we really want to show the impact of our companies participating. But what will happen is the conference is $650 per participant. And then if you want to choose one country, the conference plus B2B meetings in one country, that's going to be $2,300 for a small business. And if you want to go the conference plus 2 countries, that's $3,300. Well, the grant that I told you about, they will help you cover this cost, the $2,300 or the $3,300. And the grant that I told you about, if you, let's say that you just want to go to Miami because you want to get more information, that is what our commerce contact is encouraging us to do. Melissa, if they don't want to go to the country, if they're not sure about what they want to sell, if they just want to get information about the process, have them to participate in the conference only. And so what that will cost is the $650 for the conference, plus the cost of your flight, plus the cost of your hotels. And the cost of your flight, the cost of the hotel, and the cost of the conference, 46 states have money to cover that cost. So when we, and I share what we do so that you will know that what we're saying is real. So when we went to Europe, this cost for us was for the B2B meetings. We went to 3 countries. It was, and there were 2 of us that went. So you can take up to 2 people on the trip with you, right? So it was 2 of us that went. It cost us $6,500. And the state of Maryland gave us they paid 2/3 of that cost. And we paid the difference. And then for our flights and our hotels, they gave us $5,000 to cover those costs. So this is money that is sitting there that is untapped by our community, unfortunately, but as a part of our incubator, we will teach you how to apply for these funds. So we will have enough time to prepare you. If you go ahead and start to register your interest, we will have enough time to prepare you, and you can decide, hey, I only want to go to the conference. I want to find out what it's about. It'll cost me the flight, the ticket. You have to pay for your own food. The meals you have to cover for yourself. But the other costs you can get assistance with, and they won't pay the full cost. One for this portion, the $650, the $2,300, or the $3,300, they will pay, most states, 2/3 of that. And then they'll give you money for the flight and for the hotels. Okay, I know we got some questions. And let me see, how do you apply? The deadline that they list is July 15th, but we have gotten an extension on that deadline since our conference is at the end of July. But if they want us to go ahead and start registering our interest, and because it doesn't cost you anything to do that, here is the trade mission application. So you see the first 2 days are in Miami, which are the 23rd and the 24th. So if all you want to do is just go to the business meeting, you'll get a chance to meet all of the diplomats from the different embassies in the different countries. You'll get briefings on all of the countries. They'll talk about what products and services they need, and you can prepare yourself. It'll give you a better understanding of where and how your product can fit. And if you do want to go to the 2 of the countries, then you just choose from these countries that are listed here. And then Commerce will help you order which country you will go to at what time. So you just fill in your information here and you put the expected number of participants. Nothing is written in stone. All of it is tentative, which is more than understandable. We just ask you to make sure that you put in that you are linked to Black and Global. Where is that at? That you put, let's see, here, base number 19. And you can say that you connected with the Black and Global Business Network. That way they will know that you came through us. And then that will alert us as well. If you can send us an email, it's great. But we want to get at least 60 companies involved in this process. So what we're doing in the incubator is we're teaching everything that we know. We're teaching you how to apply for the STEP grant, how to meet with the commerce person, how to meet with your state person to help you get the grant. We're teaching you how to do the apprenticeship and create that as well. We're teaching you the whole gamut of what we know in our incubator, because the mission is bigger than we can serve with us doing the work for you. So that's the Caribbean Trade Mission. Okay, so Sister Robin, I know we got a ton of questions. So what, can you tell me where we are in the questions?
Yeah, so question 1.
Okay.
So question 1, is there a reason why you are not promoting entrepreneurship here in the States for Black Americans?
Yes, because we don't focus on entrepreneurship in the US. Everything that we do is international. So there are many companies that do that though, but we are not one. I am an international tax attorney, and all of my skill sets for 20 years have been to help businesses outside of my community expand globally. I don't know anything about the domestic market. I can't even do my own domestic tax return. So if you're looking for domestic help, we're not a good place to be. The only thing that I know is how to get deals in other countries, because that's what I've done for 23 years.
Thank you. Question number 2, do you help educate people on international business ethics and policy?
Yes, and that's a very, very good point, because part of our training course is that we do not have the mindset of an interloper. We don't have a colonial mindset. We have standards and ethics that we have, and there are rules and regulations. And because I am a lawyer, I make sure that we make sure, and not just me, our head of global operations, Case Lane, she's an attorney as well. And we make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. And we make sure that you comply with, there are many rules, trust me, many, many, many rules. And it's very important because, you know, what we're doing is really pioneering. And so we are the tip of the spear, and we're setting the stage for companies that are coming behind us. So ethics is a very important part of what we do. Next
Thank
question.
you. Question number 3. Miss Angela, she's in Tennessee and she want to know, do they have any grants for Tennessee?
We haven't found any, Angela. We're definitely looking for you, and we have not found any as of yet, but as we're on the hunt for you.
And then Angela has her hand up, but question number 4, is there any other ways, and to say DSERV can get funding?
You mean for, so we have looked at SBA loans. I think that's what Bing is looking for you. Angela, is or was it, I think we talked about SBA loans. Honestly, I run clients together, Angela, so I'm not sure. So Bing is a better person to ask. I know that there are no SBA fund, no STEP grant funds available in Tennessee. And that's one of the 4 states that don't have funding to help small businesses with exporting.
Okay, another question. Is there a certain time frame we would visit the Caribbean countries?
Yeah, during this time frame. So we're gonna leave Miami on the 25th. So we'll be in Miami the 23rd and the 24th. We'll leave Miami on the 25th, and we'll fly to whichever 2 countries you want to fly to.
And then will the incubator training be virtual?
Yes, everything will be 100% virtual. 100%, yeah.
If there's no grants for her state, can she incorporate in another state in which she may have customers and apply from that state?
Now that's definitely possible. That is definitely possible to find the state that has. Now, Angela, that's a great idea. So can you ask Bing if we can do research, because she has a list of all the states and she knows the numbers for which state has the most money that's available. And so that's definitely a possibility. So can you ask her that? And then on our next call, let's talk about how we can strategize to do that.
I was wondering, is there going to be language barriers, like when we're going interpreters or anything like that, that we should be aware of? Because everybody, may be a little bit French or, just different barriers. And I know with the Chamber of Commerce, they had interpreters that could go on the Gold Key package.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So they will have interpreters if needed. So most of the times they have English speaking people that they're bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But if there needs to be an interpreter, they will have them that are available.
Okay, that works. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which countries are you thinking?
I was thinking about the Bahamas, Jamaica, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do want to do Dominican Republic is really my top.
Okay.
So I may let Bahamas go and do Dominican. But I want to do some research to make sure that Deserve is a fit there, that it's not a country that,
Yeah.
has no, they don't need the hair care product, or it is just so difficult. Trinidad, I heard, was a little bit that the government had issues and that they wanted to wing out some of the people that was in office. So they was circle back around for a year, because they're just trying to bring them out. Spain, Port of Spain and Trinidad does look appealing, but I don't want a wasted trip because they're not ready, or they just they're more stricter. So I do want to do some research to see who's the strictest.
Yeah.
Or,
So yeah, for your product, because Angela has a hair product, right? So we want to find a market in advance that we know that this is considered, that this is not, it doesn't have any ingredients that are considered medicinal, that it's all plant-based, right? So we don't have to deal with those hurdles. But that's for the summit. Those are the questions that will get clarified from the trade promotion officers at our summit. And we wanted to, so we will have a leg up because we will get an opportunity to talk to the trade promotion officers before at the end of July. So we will be ahead of before we go down to the Caribbean. And so we'll be preparing for 3 months to get everybody ready to go on the trip. If you want to go, or if you just want to come and meet us in Miami, which I hope many of you will do. And it's October in Miami, which is beautiful. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, James.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you very much for this information. I have a question similar to Angela's question, and it's in regards to, so the federal government has a credit guarantee program for developing countries who are buying agribusiness products.
Yes.
And so some countries, they are able to participate in programs like that, and some are not.
Right.
I would definitely want to know which ones are able to receive some type of credit guarantee, for payment, where they have connections with banks to do that, and specifically need agriculture or agribusiness products.
So are you talking about the credit guarantees through XM, or are you talking about through the Department of Agriculture?
Through Department of Agriculture.
Okay, so the guarantees I know are through XM. So have you ever done business with XM?
No, I haven't, but it's pretty similar. I'm sure it's pretty similar through Department
of Agriculture.
Of
Yeah.
Agriculture.
So we have a relationship with XM Bank. So we would have to talk to the Department of Agriculture to find out. But I think that they're asking for agribusiness on this trip. So, and I think that if we do it in advance to make sure that we can get the credit guarantees in place, I think that that's something we could definitely do. So XM, we talked with them during the summit about creating a special process for our clients, because we want to make sure that our clients are accepted and received very well. So we talked with the Office of Minority Business Development at XM. And so they're working with us to make sure that we have a great streamlined process for our clients. And so we can ask for the same at Agriculture.
Yeah, and my company is already certified or qualified to offer the credit guarantee through Department of Agriculture.
So you can receive the guarantee or give the guarantee?
give the guarantee
So
through
how,
American banks,
go ahead.
through American banks.
And how does your program work?
Um, have a U.S. bank connecting with a bank in one of those countries.
Uh-huh,
The buyer um, in one of those countries go to their bank, make an agreement,
right.
um, and then the two banks, and then my bank pays me off completely, and then um, my bank will make the payment to the bank in one of the Caribbean countries.
So you're saying that you're already set up with a bank that has the guarantee. Okay.
I, I, I'm I'm set up with the Department of Agriculture, um, which are the ones that provide the guarantee.
Right. Okay. So I was confused on what you were saying. Um, so let me explain to everybody they can understand what you're saying. So one of the ways that the U.S. promotes international business is they give what they call credit guarantees. Because if you sell your product and you ship your product, let's say James has a shipment of wheat, as an example, and he's going to ship his wheat out. Well, if he's shipping his wheat out to Canada, how does he know he's going to get his money? You know, he may put the wheat on the ship or in the container, and then he has to, I guess, hold his breath maybe to make sure that he gets his payment. And then coming the other way, if the Canadian company sent James the money in advance before they got the product, before they got the wheat, how do they know they're going to get their wheat? So there's uncertainty in the market that if I send the product, am I going to get my money? If I send my money, am I going to get my product? So the US government comes in between, and it's not just the US government. Most governments have what they call a credit guarantee agency. And in the US, that credit guarantee agency shows up in different departments. One department is agriculture. Another department is energy. And the overall bank for the US is called EXIM Bank, Export Import Bank. And what it means to give a credit guarantee is when James sends out his, again, with the government, always know it's paperwork, filling it out, verification. Nothing is easy, but it's lucrative. That's what I always say.
Mhm.
There are steps in between that you have to go through in order to get James's bank has to be set up. James has to get certified with the credit agency. He has to have a bank in the US that's going to do the deal. The bank in Canada, the customer in Canada has to have a bank that's going to do the deal. But the beauty between the countries and the beauty between the banks is that the credit guarantee will say, okay, look, this is a short version because there's a lot behind what I'm saying. If James, when you ship your product out, I'm going to make sure you get paid. Canadian company, when you send that payment to James, I'm going to make sure you get your products. So it's a credit guarantee that's between the buyer and the seller to make sure people get their money and people get their products. And it's a great tool to promote trade. And the reason that EXIM Bank is a great opportunity for us, like they will do huge multi-billion-dollar deals. That's what we're talking to them about with energy companies. So much so, the difference with EXIM Bank is EXIM hunts for risk. They like risky deals. And I said to them, they say, if you can't get financing at a normal bank, come to us, we'll help you get financing. I said, well, we don't have problems with that because Black folks, we have a hard time getting it. So we fit into the risk category pretty easily. But having that credit guarantee is very, very important. And that's something that we teach, James, and we help businesses to acquire as we go through the process, because we make sure that everybody gets paid. And XM works with us in order to do that.
Thank you, Melissa.
Mhm. Okay, next question. We got 14 minutes. Zaha, how do I say your name? Commonwealth of CNMI.
Yeah, the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands. Just
There you
Zaji.
go.
But my question was, and I did I sent you a PDF of the export program I'm trying to develop out here, because we're not getting none of this feedback, this information. And I had two questions. The first question was, do you have any information for that Asian market? That's 2.3 billion in the market. I know export.gov and ITA is really trying to push export into Africa and the Caribbean. But I'm like, is anybody pointing towards Asia? Is it just me? I just got my certification in Burma and we just got a warehouse. I'm just looking for people who want to collaborate. I can franchise or partnership some of their wares out there up under the agreement. I'm already working with the embassy at Rangoon. But I was going to ask you, Sister Muhammad, if I do get this grant approval here with the SF, what is that? SLFRS, that's the American Rescue Plan Act grant I applied for here in the Sinai. Would you be willing to do some, Zoom ins for the class? Because we don't have a lot of, Black folks out here. The audience would probably be mostly like Chamorro people, Carolinian and Filipino, and but they don't have any like real interaction with Black, people from the States. But that's why I really tuned in to ask you that. Or if you wanted to collaborate in something in Asia, because that's what I'm doing my thing in Burma, and I'm really trying to influence Black people to come to Asia, because we have not only archaeological history there, our trans-Pacific diaspora is from there. And I'm telling people the market is huge and it's really welcoming. And that's just what I want to throw at you. And I want to be able to hit you up some way every time I try to hit you up on computer emails.
Okay. So a couple of things I'm gonna say. So Sister Robin, can you put the email in there for him to email me directly? So email us here and request a meeting with me, and they will specifically request a meeting. That's one. Two, Asia is a big market. So we just got a request from Commerce. They are looking for companies to go to Case. What are the Asian company? It's for healthcare technology.
Japan, South Korea. I got that notice, but yeah.
So that's what they're looking for now in terms of Asia. So that's the first one. The second one is, we can definitely share information. And when you're saying that, are you working with the U.S. Embassy in Burma? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Brother Zaji.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're on mute.
Okay.
I'm on mute. Now you're off. Now you're on.
Now I'm off.
Now you're off. Okay.
Okay.
Are you working with the embassy in the U.S. Embassy in Burma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So the FAS, that's up under USDA, and right now I'm trying to work with Kihi Foods. I reached out to the Black Food Manufacturers Association. No response back from them, like 3 times, and then
what exactly are you looking to do? You want US
I
company?
want to export foodstuffs. Like we got a lot of growing Black brands coming up. Black alcohol brands, beer. A lot of Black like organic and natural food brands. So I'm thinking, to give us a market, I got a sit down already in Burma. I got a warehouse. We got a hospitality training center we just coming up with. We got a nonprofit. We feed refugees out there, So I've been doing this for like 3 years, slowly but surely. We just started a tourism business.
Okay.
And, but I don't have number one, I ain't got the money. This all sweat equity like you started out. Everything is sweat equity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is you got to think about I'm doing the footprint now. And now I'm this phase now, I'm trying to do the seeds. I'm trying to put the seeds in the ground.
So you're looking for, so I want to be clear about what you're looking for. So if we have food companies here, you want food companies, or let's say a hair care company.
They don't need no hair hoe. They don't need no hair care out there. I mean, they buttered. Those are Afro-Asiatic people.
Okay. So if you're looking for a food company from the US to sell their food into Burma,
or distribute my import, I got an import-export license there. So what I'm thinking is we got Black people that got furniture stores, we got Black people that got hotels. I can bring them in, teak furniture, tiling, all kind of handmade. I mean, you ask them to make it in wood, they can make it in wood. You want some raw materials, they can bring it in. Dry spices I can bring in.
But when you wait, this is where I'm not. But wait, this is where I'm not clear. When you say bring in, I'm not clear on the flow of the transaction. Are you looking to take from the US, products from the US for us to export to Burma, or us to import products from Burma into the US?
Yes, ma'am. The first part is the flow out so everybody can utilize their STEP grant, all right? Because you get a translation budget and all that, right? So we can introduce you to the market and everything like that. So that's the flow out. But the reciprocal is you got these food manufacturing companies that need base ingredients. That is the flow in, because now they're gonna get it from dirt cheap. I help them get it from dirt cheap. And then you got you give the Department of Commerce and everybody, I'm hearing you, heads up, like Chamber of Black Commerce, but you more on the boots on the ground. Because I got a membership with Chamber of Black Commerce. We wanted to open up a chapter out here. Nothing now, nothing. I ain't bad mouthing nobody, but I got the emails to show it, nothing. So anyway, I'm trying to look for people who want to collaborate. I just dropped the email. I made my own website. Okay. But it's real slow and everything. So I'm looking for people to, hey, let's work together. Let me help you.
So let me say, so now that I'm clear about what you're saying, what we can do is, if you have deals that you can find partners to distribute out, because we only do export. That's what we focus on. We focus on exporting. So if you have opportunities in Burma where you can say to us, here is the opportunity for a contract with X, we can definitely share that with our network and we can start to collaborate. And then in terms of the information that we collect, because awareness raising is a key part of what we do, so we can definitely do webinars or share information with your community on what the opportunities are. We can definitely do that.
Okay. That's
all right. Okay, great. So just send us an email and request a meeting, but make sure you say in the email that you were on this webinar and that you're requesting a meeting with me to talk about that. Okay. All right. So anybody else, any other questions? So we're looking, get the word out to people, come meet us in Miami. Even if you don't want to go to the islands, you'll learn about.
Yeah, we have a hand up.
Oh, okay. Who is that? You can go ahead and come off the mic. I can't see them.
Is that,
Okay, can you hear me?
okay, got it. We can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody. Melissa, thank you for all the great information. This is like mind blowing. I have been in the trucking industry over 10 years. I recently just hung up my keys, but I still want to do something in the industry, but on a larger scale. And I have a lot of knowledge, but I'm just really trying to figure out if I even fit in this space or can I fit in this space? Like, what what can I do? I like I said, I've been a truck driver in the industry over 10 years, and I'm just really just trying to find my way.
Okay, so what is your name? Tell me your name.
My name is Andrea.
Okay, Andrea. So we have our head of marketing. Her name is Evie. I'm gonna ask you to email me at that same email address and say, Melissa, please connect me with Evie. Evie has a company in which she does marketing for us, but she has a company that is called Build America. And one of the things that we strive to do is if you're not at a point for Black and Global for exporting, Case has a company that's called Ready Entrepreneur. So she's going to be a good person for you to talk to. So say in that email, Melissa, please set up a meeting with me with Case and with Evie. And I'm going to tell you why. Case really will help you think through what it is that you want to do, your value add, and help you frame your thoughts for your business. And so we refer companies to her for her Ready Entrepreneurship service. And Evie's business, which is called Build Back America, we just had a meeting on Capitol Hill on Friday with Congressman Donald Payne. Let me tell you, Andrea, if you sat in that room, you would be on the roof right now. Because
I've been on the roof since I've been in this room. So I know I would be.
Evie's business focuses domestically. So somebody asked me earlier, why don't I focus on the domestic side? But what we do internationally, she does domestically. And the people that sat in that room, what did they talk about? Transportation. What was the big issue at this conference I just went to? Transportation, infrastructure, and all of the money that's available. And there was a young lady who was at the table during this meeting, and she was a trucker. And she loved trucking. She's 29 years old.
Too.
She loved trucking. And when you said that, see, this is why I'm glad that I go to these meetings so I can share this kind of information. She's 29, she's married, and she loves trucking so much so that she drove her entire pregnancy. And she created a business for women trucking. And her business got highlighted by President Biden. So she's based out of New York or New Jersey. And at this meeting, and Evie can give you the information, just tell her what I'm telling you, so you'll know what to share with her. They are looking for women truckers, women with trucking experience, because there's a lot of funding. The Department of Transit in New York and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey were at this meeting, and we met with them, and they are going to have a training that they're going to provide for free to help minority, which include Black and women, to get their certification to qualify for these contracts that they're putting out, because they have to increase the number of women and minorities that get these contracts. And Evie's business, what she does is she gets you ready. She helps you to get the qualifications, the training, whatever the whole stuff is. So, and she helps you bid on those contracts. So Case would be a good fit, CASE, and then Evie, EVY. And just ask to make sure that we connect you with both of them so that they can get you started. And then once you get your transportation up and you rolling, hey, then you come to Melissa, and then
That's
we can take you
that's right.
global.
That's right, because that's my goal. My goal is to go global anyway. But I love trucking. I can't physically do it anymore. But I still love the industry. And so I was just trying to figure out what can I do. I have a group, it's a small group called Sisters Beyond Trucking, where we focus on mental health and wellness of women drivers.
Wow.
It's not a big thing. It's just a little something, something. And so I have that going on. And a few months ago, I know what you're talking about the women in trucking. I sent in an application and an interest letter to be a part of the FMCSA board for women in trucking. So I haven't heard back from them yet, but they're getting up a committee for that. So I did that a few months ago. So Melissa, thank you
That's
so
great,
much.
Andrea. Let me tell you, when I tell you Evie is connected, first of all, she and her husband, they had the congressman, they had the head of the National Supplier Diversity Program, they had the chair from the assistant chair from the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. They had the head of the port authorities in both states. And these people flew down from New York to come to this meeting. So, and this was put on by Evie and her husband, working with the congressman. So they really can help you. So please reach out to them. And this is just proof of why these conversations are so important, because we get the word out. Okay, so
I'm telling you, I'm gonna say this one quick thing, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
okay.
I don't know how many people on this line need to hear this, but closed mouths don't get fed. I'm a shy person, and I like to stay in the background and kind of like I'm an observer. So I'll sit there and I'll take notes and I'll listen and I'll take notes. I almost did not say something, but glory to God. Open your mouth. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I definitely agree with you. Please, and this is a place where we are about love and support. So yes, ma'am, that is definitely awesome. Anyone else has, so let me say, we also got, just in case anybody may want to do business in Latin America, Commerce reached out to us about doing projects in Latin America that are about educational design, educational curriculum design. So we're going to send that out to you all too. Please be on the lookout for it so that we can make sure that you all get that information for anybody that may be interested in doing business in Honduras. And that lists like one area, and this is buying directly from the Honduran government. And it's 800, I don't know, some big number of millions or billions that they're looking for. But be on the lookout for that if you're interested. And anybody with the trucking, if you're interested in that, just shoot me an email and do the same thing I asked you to let Andrea do, and ask for Case and for Evie so that we can connect you with that as well. See, we got you covered at Black and Global. We got you covered. All right, everybody, we are 5 minutes over our time. Thank you all for joining us tonight. This just warms my heart to make sure that we are on a mission to really, take our destiny. I am your sister and servant, Melissa Muhammad. We are the Black and Global Business Network, globalizing our connections, keeping us in the Black, and we will see you around the globe. Good night, everybody.